Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
And with any luck, we are now broadcasting live on YouTube. Of course, I'm not really sure if this is working yet until I refresh the video page. And it looks like it's working! Yay! I was a little concerned because if you caught yesterday's TLDR, the Locker Gnome Daily Report, also short for Too Long Didn't Read, you would have seen that we had some technical difficulties on YouTube's end. I sent them some screenshots to help them troubleshoot the problem. Everything was broadcasting fine on my end, but nobody could see what I was doing. I could, but it really doesn't do me any good to, really broadcast live on the internet if nobody's watching. Really. And so I think everybody's watching. Looks like, oh, we already have 3 likes. I've been broadcasting for less than a minute, and so far you like the video. Thank you. And by the way, if you like the video, you can like, the video, obviously. But the easiest way to do a like on a live video is to like the video while it's broadcasting live. After it's been recorded, it's not so easy to like right now. It's a bug that YouTube has right now. Oh, iTutorial UK, welcome back. You're a regular viewer. IV Legabyte or IVI Megabyte? Oh, I see. It's IVI Megabyte, or IVI Egabyte, but the IVI together looks like an M. Pretty neat, dude. Just got the live feed. Welcome aboard. The B Davis 2195 says hello. I say hello back. Lisa M. Card says hi. Hey Chris says Target Hunter 9. So it looks like everything is working as well it should be today. And so I'm very happy that you were able to join us. Hopefully everybody's able to keep up with the array of videos that we're now doing with the YouTube. There's so much content to cover, quite honestly, and we're doing our best. You could watch the episode playlist, or you could watch the TLDR episode in its entirety, including all my flubs, as I usually try to edit out in the episode clips that some people decide to watch. One thing that I wanted to share with everybody today is, I don't know if you knew this, but the Space Shuttle program is not dead. It will live on in Lego! This is actually from, I guess, another one of our community members, Chris Widener, ended up getting this for Diana and myself from my Amazon wish list. Of all the items on there, this is what he chose to send along, so I'm very grateful for this. This is a nice early Christmas present. I am thinking, because this is a little over 1,000 pieces, this is going to be a long build. I don't know if I'll do it live, but we'll certainly show the final build as it's constructed. We'll be building the space shuttle in Lego here pretty soon. I don't know why. I know why I like this stuff, but I don't know why I have this sudden interest in Lego again. I guess you reach a certain point where, collecting another gadget or gizmo is kind of pointless. They're all kind of the same. And you want to do something with your hands. You want to get your mind off of things. And Lego just seems to be the perfect universe. Plus, you can never have enough. And it's easy to buy for when you have Lego on your list, because they're always producing more Lego. So it's just something to collect. We all have things that we collect, and hopefully you collect more than just dust or fat. And I collect both of those too, although I'm not thrilled about collecting those two things. It happens either way. Just got here, working good today. Oh, that's what someone says. Oh my God, more Lego, says Computer Life 22, and he smiled, so that's a good thing. The Beta Joke says, make it a challenge and construct it live. Dude, it would be live for like a day. I don't think anybody would watch that long, although the feed at live.pirillo.com has proven me wrong every single time. I like software and hardware, but sometimes you just want something more. And that's just the thing that I guess has captured my imagination at this point. That may change. When I hit my midlife crisis, I may start collecting other things. I don't know what that would be, really. Kind of hard. What should I start collecting? If you don't like the fact that I collect Lego and share that openly, I came out of the bin, so to speak, then you can make another suggestion, an alternative, if you will. Something that is, kind of in the same realm, potentially a little more affordable, too. That's why I'm very grateful when I get gifts from the community. So, got a few stories that we're going to share here today, some interesting changes, something that we haven't written about yet, but we may cover it in a future TLDR. Twitter is rolling out a new interface. So if you have not yet jumped aboard the Twitter train, now may be the perfect time to do so. Of course, I'm at Chris Pirillo on Twitter, and as a matter of fact, I should go over there and tell people we're streaming live. Thank you for the retweets of that and other things. Believe me, I am watching. And then, of course, you can also find me on Google+. I'm going to go ahead and share that link there. You can reshare it at will. And let's go ahead and share that on Facebook as well. So then we've got our whole social media community all potentially coming to this particular webpage where the video is embedded and you guys are commenting live, and I'm able to read what you have to say. TFPFP, or also known as Fireman Rich. See, I know you guys. I get to know you guys. You're not just usernames when we engage each other regularly. He says collect stamps. I used to be a philatist. I used to collect stamps way back when. That was really, I think, the first collection I ever had was stamps, and then I kind of grew tired of it. There just seemed to be so many, and I couldn't keep up. It was expensive, and it just wasn't. It stopped being interesting, really. I had a whole. In fact, I may still have them stored somewhere, hopefully away from any kind of moisture. Yes, Twitter has got a new interface. I don't know if it's fully rolled out yet. They've shown some screenshots, some just initial things that you may be able to enable for your account, or what's coming down the pike. It looks to be pretty different than what we've been used to on Twitter.com, which for me has been my primary mode of using Twitter. Of course, secondarily, I'm using the Twitter client, the official Twitter client on the iPhone and or iPad. I'm sure you may have your favorite Twitter client for your mobile device, if you have a Twitter client for your mobile device, or if you're even on Twitter. But it's a big deal. You can't just say, I don't like Twitter, no one uses it. Oh, I think people do. It's like saying, I hate Facebook, nobody uses it. Oh, I think they do. You can feel free not to use these things, but pay attention when changes happen, because they can be changes for the better potentially. And so much of a website's experience is wrapped up in the UI. And it's great that Twitter has a great developer ecosystem, but a good website, for starting points. Someone, thank you, DRK571, Philatelist. What you said you were, I really can't post on here. Oops. Oh, the wonders and joys of streaming live video on YouTube. Glad not everybody was watching for that. You can, well, it's too late to tell you to skip over if it's broadcasting. What time does this live broadcast happen every day? Asks iDubsteppin. Every day, usually about 3 p.m. Pacific. We have the full schedule at go.tagjag.com/upcoming-live. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me on all the networks. We'll let you know ahead of time. And then, of course, check out youtube.com/live, and you should be good to go. But let's go in, speaking of iPhones and iPads and mobile apps, let's go into one of our stories that we've written about on Locker Gnome today, and that is the Flipboard update. There are so many ways you can get your news today. You can follow people on Twitter, like myself, or Facebook, really, like myself, or Google+, like myself, YouTube, like myself. We're everywhere, really, and we're sharing news. And even if you're not making news, or you're just sharing your perspective, or maybe you're sharing what somebody else had written, there are plenty of ways to do this. You don't really need a new experience. When Flipboard was first announced, and this is quite a while back, it was for the iPad. And we've seen a few iPad stories out there. Let's go ahead, and I've got a lot of apps installed on my iPad, believe it or not, but Flipboard is, to me, the must-have installed news navigation application. If that sounds a little wordy, it's a lot more fun to use. So if I see here, tap Flip Tech, I can flip between the headlines real easily, and oh, look at that, page will go back and forth. And if I want to read something in depth, I just tap that article, it pulls up. One of my favorite news sites of all times, The Next Web. All my favorites are there. It pulls up the web page underneath it, or I can go back to the Flipboard interface. So this is free, by the way, if you have not tried it. You can load lockergnome.com in there. Oh, look, they're talking about the new Twitter experience, I bet there. 4 ways Twitter is taking on Facebook. So this is apparently the text section, and you can go ahead and define other sections. You can even subscribe to feeds. You could subscribe to Locker Gnome's feeds or my feeds all over the place, and add them essentially to Flipboard and synchronize it with a free account. If you have not started using Flipboard and you have an iPad, you should, really. First time watching this live, it's incredible. Can't wait for YouTube to broaden the audience for this technology. I don't know if you can really, I think you can pull in videos from Flipboard, at least vicariously. Look, I'm just navigating. It's addictive to kind of navigate people's status updates and news links and stories and photos and I'm pretty sure videos as well. Now, if you didn't realize it, Flipboard is a universal application, which means it'll run natively on the iPad screen and an iPhone screen or an iPod Touch screen. So I have loaded Flipboard on here. Or did I say Flipbook before? Hopefully I didn't. Carriester says, Flipboard looks pretty good. We're streaming this video live on YouTube, hence the comments and me reading from it. Flipboard has a great UI, says Natalie Rain. Agreed. I use Google Reader solely for Flipboard, says Evil Dead 123. A lot of people use Flipboard if you hadn't known about this before. I mean, I can't believe I'm the first person to tell you this. Welcome to Flipboard. This is my first experience here on the iPhone. I wonder if I can remember my credentials. I don't know if I can. Oh, I see. I flipped it up. Get started, create your Flipboard. I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Looks like that's the new nav screen here. I'm going to tilt it to the side since the brightness is not exactly optimized here. This white is whiter than me. This is a little odd. Let's go ahead and look at news. Oh, I see. We're choosing which ones we want to have on our Flipboard. They've got a few sections by default. And let's go ahead and just dive into technology again. And it looks like, let's see, I'm going to try to swipe. So on Flipboard on the iPhone, looks like you swipe up or down. Oh, hey, we talked about this the other day. Remember the video we did on your favorite classic video game or old school video game, whatever we titled it. So Tetris, I'm sure, is one of them in the articles. And then you could just scan the headlines using Flipboard. You can check out, their sections. You can build your own sections. You can connect your Facebook account, your Twitter account. And the nice thing about this, again, is if you'd heard about Flipboard but didn't have an iPad, now you can use Flipboard on a smaller screen. And you can synchronize the account to run between your large screen iOS devices, iPad, or your smaller screen iOS devices like your iPhone or your iPod Touch. Can I sync my Google Reader feeds with Flipboard? I've never used Google Reader that much. I'll be honest with you. I love RSS. That was the way for a while that we were delivered new information, but then RSS didn't really die. It's just that we didn't really see a lot of innovation happening around that as a delivery mechanism. And email still works well. We still send out the Locker Room email newsletter. We still have an RSS feed, but it just seems to be kind of pointless these days. I would say, and I'm asking this question in general to you, for me, I get most of my news like this, watching a video, or reading your tweets, or your reshares on Facebook or Google Plus from social media. So you act as a filter. This is why it's important when I ask you, I say, hey, we did a Locker Room article about Flipboard. So I would ask you, hey, if you can share this with other people, that would be awesome. When you subscribe to us, you're letting us know that the content you're digesting is worth sharing. And so everything that we do, I pray that you are sharing that content forward. That's how other people are going to discover the news. You could come to lockergnome.com directly. That's not really the case anymore. You can subscribe to our email newsletter. Easy enough to do. But I would say the biggest velocity we might get is if you had a blog, you link back to an article you like. If you have Twitter, Facebook, Google+, any one of these social media profiles, when you share the stuff, that is a huge gesture. It means so much to us. When you comment, when you share. I mean, these videos you like, you can share them. You like them, you share them. Everybody else can discover it. Chris, didn't you more or less discover RSS? Asks Steve K 1993. I didn't discover it. I got pretty excited about it though, and certainly told people its benefits. And RSS is still around. And think of Flipboard kind of like a next generation RSS reader. RSS, by the way, is short for really simple syndication, although that's been argued for a while. You don't really hear much about it these days. Unfortunately. I've just connected because I read your tweet and had to share my Facebook, says Vincius Diva Concel. I'm not sure if I got the username right, but I'm doing my best when we're doing this stuff live. So if you haven't already, check out Flipboard. It's a universal app. One of my favorite news readers, well, formerly on just the iPad, now certainly universally between my iPad and my iPhone and my iPod Touch. If you know of another news app, feel free to share it. Someone mentioned Pulse in the comments. Pulse is another good one. I'm a huge fan of Flipboard, though, especially now that since it's universal and it's free and it's easy and it's fun to navigate the news. When was the last time you said that? I try to make things fun by talking about the stories that we cover on LockerGnome.com. If you want to know more, you can read the article, potentially on Flipboard. See, that was fun, kind of, wasn't it? I know, people are saying they noticed the haircut. You've been watching me a little too closely if you knew that I had a haircut, and I appreciate that. I'd be a little worried if no one noticed, really. I'd be off in the corner like, no one noticed I got a haircut. I've done that before, too. Really kind of pathetic. Someone mentioned CNN's iPad app that scrolled off. Hey, Kleta, or Kletai. I never really know how to pronounce your username. Another big person in our community. She's a huge supporter. OmniDragon taught me about RSS quite a while ago, and I use it all the time. There we go. Google Currents. That's something that's just launched today. That's right. Brian Harris Jr. mentioned that, as well as Obaruka. I have not tried that yet. I haven't had much time, really. I was out getting my haircut today. Crazy. I know. I didn't think it would happen this soon, but I needed my haircut. You know what was the big indicator when I knew I needed a haircut? When the sideburns, registered for their own zip code. It was pretty bad, really. So let's go ahead and exit out of Flipboard there and launch another application. Give me a second. I don't know if you've heard of this one. Have you heard of that one? Is something called Angry Birds. I don't know if are you familiar with this at all? Okay. Give me a second. Trust me, we're dovetailing into an article that has been written about 5 low-tech Angry Bird spin-offs. I don't understand why people are in love with Angry Birds. I admit it, and I'm going to probably say that again in a few seconds when I go to officially record this video segment for posting to the YouTubes. Today's live TLDR episode almost didn't start on time because I was playing Angry Birds. This is a game that I don't think many of you really know about anymore. Has anybody in the live audience on YouTube heard of Angry Birds there? I'm not sure. I stumbled upon it. I'm like, wow, it seems kind of nice. You essentially flick these birds into the wall, as I just did, or at these structural components, and then these pigs potentially explode. Here, if almost, got him, boom, gone. Okay, so I nailed that pig. This is a huge deal. I was obviously being sarcastic. I think you've heard of Angry Birds by now. I didn't really get it. I admit it. Wasn't a fan initially. I was like, really? Why is everybody going gaga over Angry Birds? It's just a game. And honestly, after I played it, it's still just a game. Fun game. In fact, I think both Angry Birds, the HD version, and the one I have on the iPhone, they're different binaries. I think they were gifted to me by people in the community. They sent them to, because I was like, I'm not going to buy Angry Birds. I downloaded the free one, and because you can get it for free. I don't know if you knew that. And today I was in a drugstore, not buying drugs. I think I'm pretty sure they have them there. I mean, the legal ones, not the illegal ones. I don't think they would have those here in the States. And there was a whole end cap, the end of the aisle. They have stuffed animals. They have Angry Bird stuffed animals. They have Angry Bird candy, like gels or something. Angry Bird everything. This is almost getting to be an epidemic. It's bad when this happens, right? But it's really, I would say, the first time I'd seen a game be built into this just gigantic brand. Huge. So we've kind of looked a little further at this phenomenon, if I can call it that, happily talking about Angry Birds. I think they need a little bit of management, and written an article on 5 low-tech Angry Bird spin-offs. So if you are interested in the world of avians who happen to have some issues, you may be interested in taking a look at the article and seeing what we've discovered in the universe of Angry Birds. I've seen Angry Bird Lego kits. People have constructed Angry Birds, and they're not, things that you can get to construct yourself. These people did them individually. Kind of fun. There's an Angry Birds card game. I don't know. Did you know that? A card game. There's an Angry Birds, of course, like action figures. So beyond the stuffed animals, you can have little action figures. I think everybody, in fact, I'm thinking about getting some stocking stuffers that are Angry Birds, because I think every stocking during this Christmas is going to have an Angry Bird something. It just has to, right? It's like Angry Birds is like the killer app for overnight. This became the killer app. If you just watch television every once in a while or something, you'll see a commercial. They're talking about a new phone and a new platform or a different platform, and what do they feature? Angry Birds. Forget email, forget the web browser. Does it have Angry Birds? Why is this the killer app? Why? They even have Angry Bird cupcake toppers. You can put Angry Birds on anything. Well, honestly, we've outlined a few of them in the article that we have in the description, also known as what I call the show notes. What is the weirdest Angry Bird piece of merchandise or spin-off? I hear they're making a movie of Angry Birds. A movie! The last time I think they did anything like this was the Garbage Pail Kids movie, or at least that's the last one I remember. And I love Garbage Pail Kids. I still have all my Garbage Pail Kids I still collect Garbage Pail Kids. And I'm sure everybody in my audience has no idea what the Angry Bird, what the Garbage Pail Kids are or were. But they were fun. That was kind of my Angry Birds, or at least the closest thing that I had growing up to an Angry Bird. Angry Bird soap, says Evil Bird Genius. At least Evil something genius. People are painting Angry Birds on their vans recently, says Chris Barnes 712. Are you kidding me? Super Ass Man 94, because it's fun and addictive. I don't know why you chose that username. I don't know, maybe 90, 93 on down to 0 were already taken, but what about an Angry Birds Lego set? I'd like to see that. I mentioned that I've seen people construct their own Angry Birds out of Lego. Kind of fun. YouTube Angry Bird cake. Oh, so apparently there's an Angry Bird cake video out there. Angry Birds Halloween costume, says the Beta Jake. Angry Bird condoms, says Evil Gig Genius. Something like that. Okay, I think it's time to bring this video to a close. What is the strangest Angry Bird piece of merchandise that you've seen? Did we miss any in our article? What would you like to see angrified at some point in the future? What is one object that you absolutely must have if it has Angry Birds on it? Be curious to know your thoughts. I'm not angry about it. I'm more passive, really. Passive-aggressive birds. Probably be more my style, maybe. Maybe version 3. Who isn't playing Angry Birds these days? Who? Anybody? Crazy. Angry Birds. Angry. I don't know. I'm happy about, Angry Birds, just not like thrilled. I don't know. Some people just love it. I've found other games that I'm far more addicted to than Angry Birds on the iPhone or the iPad. Mobile devices, really. It's the killer app. I don't know. Angry Birds Cookbook, says Billy Boy Jr. Oh my goodness. Remote control Angry Birds, says Blogo Tech. Angry Birds Blanket says iPods 454. I'm not going to read some of the things that you're saying because trying to keep this, for general audiences here. Trying my best. It would be helpful if you did the same in the comments. Nathawker says Angry Bird Water. And Nath, whatever. You've been here before. You've watched the YouTube live video feeds. Hang on. Temple Run. I tried Temple Run on the iPad. It's kind of fun. You're running down, and then you can swipe left or right to turn right or left or jump and double tap. It's a good one. I think it was free one weekend. Don't know. Do they have Angry Birds lip balm yet? Anybody? Angry Birds lip balm. Nobody? Angry Birds Bluetooth headset? Angry Bird scissors? Angry Bird Hang on. Wicket's looking at me and he's shaking. Do you want to join me? Is that what you want, buddy? Come on up. Join me. You know you're on YouTube. Come on. Oh, you don't want to make the effort of jumping up? There we go. Say hello to YouTube. Here's the Android-loving dog. He also loves Linux, just so you know. You know what? You might be cute. Yes, Burt's Bees. This is not an endorsement at all. Says Spiralish Candy. It's my favorite lip balm out there. I've tried them all. This is my favorite. It just makes my lips feel alive with whatever the hell they put in this thing. I don't know how many bees died to bring me this lip balm. I do feel guilty when I do, not really, I don't feel guilty. Some people claim that the internet is just a waste of time. And those people tend to be people who have never been online, or they only see about things on the internet through television, or hear about this internet thing on the radio. My question, is the internet really a waste of time? That's my question to you, if you believe that. If you were to ask me my opinion, it absolutely isn't a waste of time. If you didn't notice, at least from the videos that have been recorded in recent days or the live TLDR YouTube episodes, I got a haircut today. And I was in the chair. I had a coupon for like half off or something like that. A really nice place. It's just, one of those cheapy places. I never spend, I usually, around $10, is where I try to hit it. Of course, the mark for paying for a haircut. Sitting in the chair, and stylist is cutting my hair, clipping it, and for some reason or another, we were talking about an email promotion that they were doing, like a $5 off a haircut, and you have to use an email address to sign up. And we started talking, and she said, I really don't use the internet. I use it to pay bills, and that's about it. And I said, oh, okay, well, I guess, there's a lot you can do with the internet. I don't know if you knew this. It's more than just videos of guys and dogs. There are cat videos as well. There's let's see here, what is there? I'm reading the comments here on the live video feed on YouTube here, seeing what people are saying. What is this so-called internet? I've never been on it, says Walina1. Oh, you've been tricked then, because this is really the internet, and it's live, real time. As the conversation went on, she explained that her son got her an iPhone. She has an iPhone, and she doesn't use the internet. I'm like, oh my God, you're kidding me. And she said, no, I really don't use it. I'm like, well, let me show you a couple of apps that could more than pay for the iPhone, like over and over and over again. Here, let me show you a couple of the discount apps that I use. And I was explaining this to her, and I'll just show it to you. And I've done this before. Of course, Groupon, Living Social, Valpak, Entertainment. But I also use Perk. This is something, it's a local app to Seattle. I've talked about it briefly in an earlier video. And I can save up to 50% on a meal. We went out to eat last night. Diana and I did, and we saved $30 on a meal. We were going to eat anyway. And it didn't cost us anything to do. And just because we use this free application. She said, oh, I don't know if I'll use it. And she said, I'm probably going to go down to a store today and get one of those 3-in-1 printer scanners. It's like, well, why do you need the printer scanner? She said, well, I really only need the scanner. I'm like, do you realize you could use your iPhone to scan? And this was her face. What? It was like, she was shocked. It's like, yeah, here, let me show you some apps. My voice didn't get that high normally, but let me see here. I've got JotNot Pro, Prismo, Sign-It, Genius Scan, Card Scan, Turbo Scan, Cam Scanner, Card Munch. I've got a few. My go-to scanner app, by the way, if I just need to scan something real quick into a PDF or a graphic to upload to Dropbox or Google Docs, I use JotNot Pro. I think there's a free version available too. You can give it a shot. Prismo is the one that I used. I did a video on that a while ago. That does OCR from the iPhone. You don't need a scanner if you have a smartphone with a decent camera. I'm guessing there are alternative apps for Android as well. If it weren't for the internet to tell me these things were available, I'd be wasting so many resources. The internet isn't a waste of time. Really? It isn't. Well, I can't afford the $20 a month payment. Well, what if you use the internet connection to find coupons that were worth more than saving $20 that month? Well, that's just crazy. I like spending as much money as I possibly can on stuff. Yeah, that's a good price. You don't know if it's a good price. How do you check the price? Well, what you do is you load up an application like an Amazon application or one of my favorite scanning apps, now owned by eBay, Red Laser. They just released a new version. I could point Red Laser at a UPC code. Oh, here's an example. This is a gift from one of our community members who got it on my Amazon.com wish list. The space shuttle here in Lego. I love that. Thank you, by the way, Chris Widener, who I met on Empire Avenue. He's also local. So I hover this over the UPC code, give it a second. Now check that out. It tells me how much this cost and where I could possibly get it if I haven't purchased it yet, either online or potentially locally. Where is this available locally and for how much? Damn, that was a nice gift. Holy cow. Thank you, Chris. I don't mean me, Chris. I mean Chris Widener. That's awesome. I had no idea. I just added it to the wish list. So without an internet connection, if I were to buy that, I could be overspending. Even if it says 50% off. You don't know if they marked it up 50%. You don't know. Without the internet, I would possibly be losing money. The internet is not a waste of time. It's not just for having fun. It's for saving money and being productive and collaborating and sharing thoughts. And hopefully you would agree with me. We've written an article, another perspective on the matter, about asking the question, is the internet just for fun and diversion, or is it for something more? What are you using the internet for primarily? Entertainment? Let's see here, leisure. I guess leisure and entertainment kind of the same. Content consumption, that's kind of an entertainment. Productivity, saving money. Honestly, I think I use the internet the most to save money. As sad as that sounds. No, actually, I use it for content production. Sharing my thoughts with other people. Social media, I'm being social. What is it to you? Do you have these conversations with people who think that the internet is a waste of time? Hopefully, Ron's article could shed more light on this particular discussion, and as he shares his thoughts with everybody. Certainly, we could use your feedback on the matter, because we have to combat this problem of people believing that the internet is a waste of time. It isn't. And hopefully, this video wasn't. And if it wasn't a waste of time, feel free to share this video with other people so that they know they can use the internet for more than just watching animated GIFs of cats. That's a true story, though. I mean, not the animated GIFs, but the getting the haircut and the stylist we had these conversations today, of all things. Oh yeah, of course you could use the internet to watch my videos. This is what QWERTYQX says. I use the internet for YouTube, S4MTW. Nice. Hey, where's everybody from? I mean, not originally. Like, where are you watching this video from right now? And I don't mean like the exact physical location inside your home or work. What city? We got them from all around the world. I know we do. And in fact, I know a few people stay up extra late over in Europe to watch these live videos as they unfold. And thank you for joining us. We're trying to find the perfect time, and it seems that 3 p.m. Pacific seems to be right about the right time. A little later, and not so much. Thank you, by the way, for everybody who's watching this live for liking this video. You can do it right now. We've done very, very well with the likes on the videos as of late, and really would like to continue that that trend into the future. So let's go ahead and roll with another LockerGnome.com article. By the way, I should make mention of this at this point in the video, should have done in the beginning. If you're not subscribed to our LockerGnome email newsletter, you should be. It's free. I've been doing it since 1996. And this month, we're giving away a Sony Vaio laptop computer. So sign up. You could be chosen at random out of the list of people who do subscribe to the LockerGnome email newsletter. One of you will be very, very happy. But you should be happy because we're sharing information in general. All right, so let's roll on. Is anybody watching from Osaka? I don't know where the hell. Oh, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Bryce Craft Server. Nice. I've been to and through Cedar Rapids before. Redmond. Oh, across the pond there. A place that I have no idea how to pronounce. Stafford in the UK. England. Venice. Portugal. London. Oman. Very, very nice. I've never been to Osaka. I just got this hoodie. I need more hoodies, I know. This is a fun hoodie. Like, oh, people think I'm Japanese. I'm like, I know you probably get that. I'm not. I kind of look it a bit, if you from the side, kind of Japanese. Okay, that was a bit of a stretch. All right, let's move on with another Locker Gnome article. This one's specifically about the Kindle. The title of a blog post just published to lockergnome.com reads, "If Apple isn't concerned about the Amazon Kindle Fire, why should you be?" Now, we've covered in earlier videos why you can't effectively compare a Kindle Fire to an iPad. They are similar in the sense that they offer a larger screen, touch experiences. You can browse the web. You can download applications, but really that's kind of where the similarities end between the two. Not only are we talking about dramatic price points, usability differences, I don't want to go in too far in talking about how they're really not comparable. But, this blog post brings up a very interesting idea in that Apple is in a completely different league. I mean, yes, beyond price point than Amazon with their Kindle Fire. Amazon has a completely different set of services that it's pushing. Whether we're talking about Amazon Prime and the content available through Prime, they've got an entire, their Galaxy was built on, and I don't mean Samsung Galaxy, it's a different product. I mean, their universe was built, I don't mean Lego Universe, that's a different product. Their world, no, I don't mean Mario World, okay. Amazon is all about selling you stuff, right? I mean, that's what you think. I need to buy something, check Amazon. I need to get a book, Amazon. It's like branded into our heads. So Amazon is using this gateway drug, this Kindle Fire, for a different reason. They're not making a lot of money with the hardware because they're making up for it in services and software. Makes the world go round. So why should you be concerned about the Amazon Kindle Fire, even if you don't have one? This is something that is very interesting, and as I said, the blog post really details this, I think, fully. But I think for consumers, what this means for you is more affordable experiences in the tablet market. Doesn't mean that all of them are going to be good. Sometimes you get what you pay for. And $200 is about as bottom to the barrel as you can get. Bottom of the barrel. Sorry for tripping over my words there. I have a Kindle Fire. I am not thrilled about having a Kindle Fire. I don't even think I could effectively recommend a Kindle Fire to people. I'd say, wait, save your money. What it's going to do for the marketplace is drive other price points down. Because other, say, Android tablets that are Android outright, rather than using Android but kind of burying it, as Amazon has done with the Kindle Fire experience, we should see much more affordable tablets in general. I don't think Apple's going to lower its price point. It doesn't need to. It really doesn't. It's leading the market, and I don't think any of its market share is going to be eaten away by an array of cheaper tablets. You might remember when the HP touchpad dropped down to $99 or $150, kind of a fire sale. All the geeks that I knew of were going crazy trying to get this thing. Not because it was the HP touchpad, not because it was called touchpad, not because it was made by HP, not because it ran WebOS, but because it was $99. That's like geek impulse buy territory. So you should be concerned about the Amazon Kindle Fire for a lot of different reasons. And we outlined the good and the bad of why this is something that is kind of a game changer. Even if you didn't like it, if you don't like it, if you love it, it's been a very, very nice entry to the marketplace. It's kind of you kind of advance the idea that you could have a touch experience on a larger screen and not have to pay a lot of money. This is going to drive a lot of price points down. I think we're going to see a lot more tablet experiences become more affordable because how are you going to compete with Apple? You can't compete on price. You can't compete on features. You can compete on software, kind of, but that's really not the case anymore. How can you compete with other tablet producers? Well, you're pretty much relegated to price if your whole operating system is the same. If it's one Android tablet versus another, yeah, there's a couple of different features that might be available, but I'm telling you, consumers, their number one question, how much does it cost? How much does it cost? Amazon is, to me, if there's a concerning point, and Ron in this article, titled, as I said at the beginning of the video, the concerning thing to me is that Amazon is already a force to be reckoned with. I use Amazon. I love Amazon. I pay $80 a year for Amazon Prime, and it saves me money on shipping and handling. I've done a video before and articles on what we get in the Seattle area. Amazon Fresh delivery of groceries. Very nice, very convenient, very affordable. I use Amazon to buy things online. I use Amazon to store my wish list. Now they have this tablet experience that's pulling me deeper into the world of Amazon. And they are building, I would say, probably what will be a lot of people, as far as tablet experiences are concerned, their first experience with an Android ecosystem. It is Android. You can run Android apps on a Kindle Fire out of the box without rooting it. And I think that's fine, but it's creating an experience that other Android device producers and other tablet producers, well, not others, everyone but Apple, has to play catch up with. Amazon's created a good price point. They've got a universe of services that can complement everything that they're doing with that Kindle Fire, and they are becoming the gateway for content. Think about that for just a second. When Amazon becomes the gateway for content, reading it, watching it, that's that one provider, it becomes dangerous. It's nice to have competition in the marketplace. Who else can compete with Amazon right now? Directly. You've got bits and pockets of kind of competition, but who out there today is competing with Amazon? Google is the closest one. And to add insult to injury, they're using Google's operating system. Not exactly against them, in spite of them. So, be concerned. It's nice to have competition, and I don't know if we're really seeing it specifically with the Kindle Fire. Hopefully soon. Hopefully Amazon won't get so big that they become the only game in town, because then everybody will lose. Don't know what you guys think about the article or this particular video. You have your own comments about Amazon, the Kindle Fire. I know it's going to devolve into a whole debate on the iPad versus the Kindle Fire, but believe me, there's much more at stake than just the latest gadget on your desk. I don't know what's up with this face. I kind of turned into a duck face there for a second. Oh, this isn't duck face. This is more like goose face. This is duck face. I need more duck face pictures. There we go. I'll give you a chance to screenshot it and then share it on Facebook and Twitter and Google+. Here we go. Did you get it? I gave you enough time there. And if you don't know how to screenshot on your computer, I'm sorry. It's really not that difficult to do on any operating system, really. So let's go ahead and move along. The Microsoft virus merry-go-round, is it time to get off? Ooh, this is an incendiary article here. Wow. This is crazy. All right. I love the article, though. Boy, oh boy. Viruses, viruses, viruses. Isn't that Microsoft's mantra? Viruses, 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 viruses. Oh, it's developers, 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 developers. You remember that old video? It was an old video. It is today. It's an old video, but it's Steve Ballmer running on stage. Woo! Give it up for me! Woo! Okay, maybe you hadn't seen that video. This is like long before YouTube that video went viral. I remember when viral was a bad word. Now everyone wants to go viral. When it comes to needing technology to get things done, you probably think you need to use a computer, at least in the traditional sense. And I've had long, drawn-out discussions and debates and arguments with many people on YouTube and beyond about what a computer is. And largely stemming from me saying that your smartphone Whether you're running Android, WebOS, Symbian, iOS, whatever, your smartphone is a computer. It's got hardware and software. It helps you get things done. It has input and output. It is a freaking computer. Can a phone do the same thing as, let's say, a traditional desktop, a tower as they used to call them? Maybe they still do. No. But it doesn't make it any less of a computer to get things done. What I think upsets me even more, and you can, pull a, why you mad, bro? Are the arguments that that's not a real OS. That's not a functional OS. Huh? Are you aware of what an OS does at all? It gets things done. And if it's working and it allows the software to interoperate with the hardware, it's kind of doing its job. It is real. It is functional. There's no such thing as an inferior OS. Because, for one, inferior is relative. What works for you doesn't work for somebody else. But what you need to get over real quick is the idea that a computer is just something like this. Like there's this is a computer, right? Okay, that's a computer. Doesn't matter if it's Mac, PC, doesn't matter. This is a computer. Doesn't matter if it's an Android or an iPhone. This is a computer. Whether it's a Galaxy Tab or an iPad, they're all computers. The nice thing about the way technology, personal technology, is evolving, and you may not like it, but that doesn't make it any less true, okay? And hopefully you like this video, because I'm making an effort to explain it to you, because it does upset me. Oops, sorry, it upsets me so much that I'm yanking my microphone out from underneath my shirt. It upsets me because people are spreading disinformation. They look so poorly informed. It does upset me because if you call yourself a geek, you have to understand how the market is evolving. And it isn't evolving the way that most geeks want it to evolve. PC gamers, you guys are in a galaxy of your own. Seriously, I love you. But personal computing isn't really going your direction. Sorry, I hate to be the one to break it to you. Doesn't mean it's going to disappear entirely. But computing is moving to a direction that you probably don't want it to go to. Mobile and through app stores. So we wrote an article, and I know you guys are probably chomping at the bit and ripping me apart. Go ahead. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm sure you will. And I will have these arguments until no one's arguing about it anymore, since when you see it actually play out. We wrote an article on LockerGnome.com. The Microsoft virus merry-go-round. Is it time to get off? I still use Windows. Was not a fan of Windows Millennium Edition, nor was I a fan of Windows Vista. Windows 7 has been spectacular. I've only interfaced with Windows 8 in, I think, the build in a touchscreen interface. They've got some problems that they need to overcome. The bifurcation of the user experience is going to be very jarring because there's no way to control which one you have. You kind of get both, at least during this time of builds. But one thing that Microsoft, hasn't done to this point is guided people to where you can download something and be safe. They haven't created what Apple has created on iOS or with Mac OS X, app stores. What Amazon has created for Android, an app store. Even though you can't run everything through Amazon's app store, I do recommend for people who just are getting started. Just think about the people who have no idea what's going. They don't know the difference between an icon and an app and the application. They don't understand the difference between the two and their relationship between each other. I say if you want to download applications on Android, go through Amazon's App Store because they've vetted things. You're not going to download something from Amazon that's going to effectively install a keylogger on your device. People are sometimes their own worst enemies, and if the software doesn't understand that, people create problems for themselves. Oh yeah, free wallpaper and MP3 downloads, I'll click and install that. Not a problem. You would think that bigger companies would understand this. Companies that are very well known for technology. For instance, CNET and Download.com. It was seen recently that they're bundling malware with an open source download, which is not just bad, it actually violates the licensing agreement of the software. You can't trust your third parties. You really can't. If you're going to have a cleaner experience and you want to stay safe, you can download software. Just do it and let someone else do the scanning or take care of keeping the bad guys out. That doesn't mean that it's the best way to do it. Best is relative. Maybe you want to be able to download malware. Go for it. If you want to download everything on the internet, awesome. You want to install everything, you go. I don't care what you do with your computer. But the future is going to be, whether you like it or not, more of those App Store experiences. You're going to put your trust. Even Microsoft is asking you to put your trust in them when they release a Windows 8 App Store. Microsoft's going to do it. I don't have any empirical evidence. We'll see how it plays out. But I'm guessing that when Microsoft releases Windows 8 in conjunction with an App Store, I'm guessing the amount of malware installs is going to take a nosedive. That's a guess. Can't back that up. Time will prove me right or wrong. I don't worry if I have a non-jailbroken device. This is an official Apple iPhone iOS build. I don't worry about downloading something that's going to ruin this phone. Just don't. If I download an application for Mac OS X, I do it through Apple's App Store for free or paid, whatever. Because I know they're kind of protecting me from doing something bad. Can't really do that with Windows right now. You can kind of with Linux, although yes, there are bad things available for you to download and install on Linux too. Don't think you're safe. Going through these app stores is a better experience. Ubuntu's gone a long way in helping people find software for Linux. Nobody's really done that for Windows yet. And some people are thinking, yeah, it's time to get away from Windows, to getting things done, doing anything I might need to do. Unless, of course, there's an application that only runs on Windows, a game, or something like that, that you can't play anywhere else. That's fine. You can use Windows for that. But in terms of worrying about where you're downloading things from, that's really, I'm not afraid of it anymore. People ask, well, what? Yeah, it's wrong to tell people not to install a virus checker on your Mac. Like, why? Macs get viruses. No, people get viruses on their Macs. And the way to stop that is by going through a gatekeeper. Well, people don't want to go through gatekeepers. Really? People don't want to feel safe and secure? Really? Then why do they install 15 applications on top of the operating system to keep them safe? That whole industry could just dry up with an app store. You don't need to protect people if you're protecting them at another level. Microsoft's going to do it. Some people believe that Microsoft is a virus themselves. But the idea of downloading programs from third parties or websites, it's increasingly an outmoded concept. Doesn't mean it's the wrong way. It's just a different way. And for consumer electronics, it's kind of the future. And I'm sure you guys hate me for saying that, and I know you'll disagree. Some of you will agree, and I appreciate those who agree. I really do. And if you disagree, come up with a valid point that doesn't involve you at the center of the universe. Because there's more than just you who happen to be using these devices out there. That is most IT students' excuse for not switching to Mac. I can't play games on my Mac, says AZ Sportsa. Really? I've been playing games just fine. Portal runs just as well on Mac OS X as it did on Windows. Chris, your anger is palpable and shared by most. Thank you, Jonas Brothers Fanatic 1. It is palpable. Because you know why? I have to explain this to people who should know better. iPods 454, are torrents safe and legal? They can be. You can't say a format it's benign. It's a format. It's a mechanism to get stuff. It's nothing in and of itself. I recently made the switch to Mac from Windows. This isn't about switching, people, okay? Although this is what the article, if you want to try to save someone from getting off the Windows bandwagon, you need to look at the article, because he's ready to jump. If you want to save another person from, leaving Windows behind and going mobile, or going to another desktop operating system, even that idea is outmoded. Microsoft's trying to make that leap by blending the experiences of mobile and desktop into one Windows experience. Never once had a problem with Windows, says Muscles Glasses 100. Good for you. I hate to explain this a little further, but other people have. In many cases, they're their own worst enemy, and instead of us having to take the time to protect them or keep them safe from dangers, let them just download through stores, app stores, repositories that are known to only carry safe binaries. Of course, that doesn't protect them from the internet, but that's a completely different video. Well, I kind of ranted for a bit there. All right, we got another one. Hey, who uses Dropbox out there? This is the next article that we need to cover here. And this is really the last article that we're going to cover. Thank you for liking this video, by the way. If you have questions, maybe able to answer them separately in a separate video today, feel free to posit them in there, and we'll see about possibly turning them into a video dynamically. There weren't really a lot of good questions today or yesterday for us to rip out as to separate videos, but that's okay. Every day's a new day. Cloud-based all the way. See here. That's why I don't jailbreak or do illegal downloads. I like official stores. I'm a huge fan of that. I like the way Windows is going, but they have a lot of catching up to do. Windows is all right. All OSs have ups and downs. That is true. To each his own. Okay. Let's go into Dropbox, which I'm sure you're all a big fan of. I have more than one device. Shock. I get online in a variety of ways, and sometimes I need to get to certain files from anywhere in the world. I have this desktop computer that has files on it. I have another PC across from where I am in my home office that has files on it. I have a notebook computer in front of me that has files on it, and I may need to get to those files from any one of those computers or from a mobile device. And I've talked about it before. It's been a while. Dropbox is, I would say, a pretty amazing service for what it is. For free, you can get up to 10 gigabytes if you refer enough people, and I blasted past my references, I think the first day I talked about it a couple years ago. Go.tagjag.com/Dropbox. We're doing a round robin with other people on our team who use Dropbox to get up to 10 gigs free when you refer other people. I use Dropbox. Other people use Dropbox. It works well enough. Is it perfect? No. Is it good? Is it functional? Yes, because it allows you to share a certain hierarchy of folders with yourself or with other people. We use Dropbox today, every day. When I record these videos for YouTube, I essentially clip them out, title them, and then drag them into Dropbox. They're synchronized or uploaded to the cloud, and then other people, no matter what operating system they're using, get those files, they download automatically and synchronize automatically, and then they put them on YouTube and Blip TV and wherever else we put the videos. So you can try it for 2 gigs if you haven't already. There are a lot of cloud-based services, but the one that if you ask someone if they have a file, sharing service, legitimate file sharing service, I'm not talking about P2P stuff necessarily, at least in our traditional construct of P2P. Dropbox is it. And we have 10 ways you can optimize your Dropbox. If you haven't, figured out what you're going to use it for, read this article. I would be shocked if you didn't learn something new from the article that we've compiled. Matt Ryan took the lead on it. For instance, did you know, this is a tip that I shared with him, since I do a lot of the uploading, putting those videos, which are very, they're big video files in terms of file size. You can cap the upload speed, but I keep my upload speed uncapped. That's a setting you can toggle. If you do more transfers from your end and you want them to be uploaded faster, remove that cap for uploading data. That sped up my uploads instantaneously, because otherwise it's throttled. By default, it's throttled. Wisely throttled. but you can take control of Dropbox. That's just one little tip that can help you optimize Dropbox depending on how you're using it. Another thing he recommends, something you may not have done, is enabling LAN sync. So instead of having, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, so many computers around here that have Dropbox running, I don't have to download a particular file that's being synced across those computers every single time. I enable LAN sync, and it downloads it once and then syncs the data across the LAN, which is really important if you want to save on your download cap. If you have one that you have to watch out for, Comcast is one of those ISPs here in America that unfortunately places a bandwidth cap on consumer internet customers, which is so stupid. There's other things you could possibly do, like setting a single Dropbox server on your network. I don't even know if you guys have even tapped into the power of Dropbox beyond just like, oh yeah, it's for sharing files. Really, it enables a lot more than just sharing files. This can untether you from one computer. I can access all my Dropbox files from here, from the app that's available on iOS. If I needed more than just 10 gigs, I could upgrade. I could pay for an upgrade. I have not yet paid for one. I don't pay for Dropbox. I haven't felt the need to pay for Dropbox because my use scenario doesn't need anything more than 10 gigabytes. Randy V. Demir says you can host a website on Dropbox. I didn't know that. You can have a public directory, but they'll throttle how many people can download over a period of time, so I don't know if I would necessarily use that for open sharing, permanent sharing, but it's easy enough. Why use Dropbox when we have Google, says Dave Break Z. I cannot wait, and I think it's going to happen. I can't wait for Google to release a G Drive officially, because we have all this, I pay Google for cloud storage, for Google Docs and files like, images through Picasa and whatnot. But I can't easily synchronize those files from a local computer. And if there's an easy way for me to drag and drop and organize folders locally, using Windows Explorer or doing so from Linux or from Mac OS X, I would be thrilled. It'd be so much easier, and that's what Dropbox does. It makes it seamless. And another reason you might want to use Dropbox, even if you don't want to. Let's say, for argument's sake, you don't want to share files with anybody. Maybe you don't even want to keep them for yourself. Dropbox will keep a version history on the web. So you can set up a folder that you put files into, and even after, let's say you accidentally delete the file, Dropbox will keep a copy of that file for you. And they do this basically for free. This recovery process it's part of the account. So if you want to have a set of directories or one directory to keep you protected from accidental file deletion, you can keep like temporary copies there. And once you have it synced to Dropbox, it remembers that, and you can restore it up to a certain point. That, above all else, is a reason to have Dropbox. Just one little tip for it. I mean, actually, that's more than. How many tips have I shared about Dropbox in this video? We have even more Dropbox tips. 10 ways for you to optimize Dropbox in the article. That's either linked here, somewhere in the video. Maybe this video has been embedded. Am I embedded on someone's webpage right now about Dropbox? Hello? Is anybody here? Did I link to the article up there? I don't know. It's on lockergnome.com. Check it out if you have more Dropbox tips to share. Trust me, I'm sure people are going to be very excited to hear your Dropbox tips because a lot of us use it. I'm not an addict exactly, but I use it. And I'm not afraid to admit it. And I know I'm not the only one. I may be the only one who's not afraid to admit it. Maybe you are afraid to admit it. It's kind of embarrassing to walk into, like, hi, my name's Chris and I use Dropbox. Hi, Chris. It can happen. Mac OS Loin has versions. That's great. I think you meant lion. But you may have been typing fast. I use Dropbox and save Android apps. That's from Pirillo123. If you have any questions, you put a link in the description to tips for Dropbox. Thank you, Super Roll Tech. Do you think cloud storage will replace physical storage? Asks Dave Break Z. Good question. I think a lot of it's going that route. I don't think it'll ever replace physical storage outright. I think we've actually covered that question. It's been a while. But it's been a while since we've really talked about it. Shut up! Don't even know how I ended up on this page. Stupid. Right? I'm the stupid person for not knowing how you ended up on this page. Do you think you'll ever fix your face? Probably not. It's just a guess. If anybody has any questions before we wrap this up, we've been going live for an hour. I'll take potentially one question to carve out as a separate video here today during our YouTube session. And if not, I'll go ahead and wrap it up. So let me give you a couple seconds to possibly ask a question. I can check Twitter and Facebook and Google Plus as well. Question that would fit very well inside a separate video. Zohiba asks, do you play RuneScape? I do not. I think it's been a while since I even answered that question. People ask that a lot, but nah, not really. It's just never really captured my imagination. Takes a lot. What tea are you enjoying today? Still eggnog tea. Ubuntu for smartphones. It's a possibility, but very doubtful. Business question. How much of your compensated business takes place online versus in person? I'd say most of it online. Is the iPad good for drawing and sketching? Yes, depending on the app. Is there actual drink in that cup? Here. Yes. Easy answer. Best Chrome extension. Depends on what it is you want to do. Dream job. I think being yourself and being happy is the dream job. Hey, Lego Star Wars Club 9876. I answered your question, but thanks for joining us again. Is Xbox TV the future of TV? I have not used it yet, but I think that it certainly is the step in the right direction. I knew that Microsoft was going to do something like that inevitably with the Xbox 360. It took them a while, probably because of licensing headaches. No, it is. Unity is coming for smartphones and tablets. Oh, okay. Again, I don't know what kind of optimizations happened on there, but I don't know. I'd rather go with a company that's optimized for those types of experiences and has got, some amount of weight behind it. Remember that the talk of the portable game system that ran Linux? It never went anywhere for a lot of different reasons. TV is outdated. We've talked about that before. Why do you ignore old operator? I didn't. Will you use OnLive on your iPad? Asks Whimsy. I don't know. I don't have an OnLive account. It'd be a waste of money for me because I don't play a lot of games that way. What about the Windows 8 App Store? What about it? We talked about it before. Is it worth it to switch from MobileMe to iCloud? It says Hernt. Is it worth it? Sure. I've switched. I mean, it's inevitable, so I figured, hey, better do it sooner rather than later. What is the next big device by Apple? Probably the next iPad. Will you say YouTube search glitch fixer? I just did. Will cloud service ever go more than 1 terabyte? Well, yes. That's inevitable. What about SkyDrive, Chris? Nothing wrong with Microsoft. It's just not as ubiquitous, I would say, as Dropbox has become. Microsoft has a lot of catching up to do, namely in the department of mindshare. Nobody thinks of Microsoft for those types of services. They get worried. For good reason. Microsoft could screw it up. Who knows? Of course, any other companies could screw it up too. One more question in short. Which one is better for gaming, NVIDIA versus AMD? I don't think there's a clear leader. They leapfrog each other all the time. It's good to have competition in the marketplace. Let's see here. Is there any way to wirelessly connect to car stereo with an iPhone? Yes, by way of Bluetooth. I do it every day, asks Simon Dukes. What can I do with my old netbook? Asks Computer Life 22. Doorstop, potentially. iPhone 4 or 4S? Asks Sulha K89. I would say 4S. Duh. Really? Are you shocked at that one? Do you think Siri will have APIs within the year? Asks Target Hunter 9. Possible. I'd like to see that happen. However, the possibility of one app clobbering another app is greater when you have an API, and I don't know how they would mitigate that. But I'm sure as soon as Apple figures that out how to do it, if they can, they'd certainly open up the API. Spotify versus the rest of subscription music. Spotify versus the rest of subscription music services such as Rhapsody, asks Bray90820. Talked about that before. Actually did a completely separate video on it. So answer your question. Chris, where did you get the cup? I've already answered that question as well. I don't want to answer the same questions every day, day in and day out. I really can't. It'd just be a waste of my breath and a waste of your time. Gear.Pirillo.com. Remember I talked about it the other day? Come on, I know you guys are watching the videos. Have you been using your Kindle Fire? You know I've answered that question before too. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a couple more questions, and then if I don't get a good original one, I'm going to have to move on with my life and put yours at rest as well. Not that I'm going to put you down or anything. Just going to wrap up the video. Maybe I'll just end it with this one. I just wanted to say that I look forward to TLDR all day long. Says I use iMacs. Thank you. You are not the only one. We certainly appreciate all the sharing that you guys have been doing, all the liking, the subscribing. Thank you for liking this video. Thank you for tuning in every day, as you've done. Thank you for subscribing to the Locker Gnome email newsletter. Thank you for commenting on the articles on Locker Gnome, whether you comment by way of Twitter, Facebook, Google+, or directly on the article itself. Thank you for your support. I just want to say that again to the greater part of the community. Thank you for joining us in the live feed and commenting. I like seeing how many comments we get during the live feed every day, so the more comments you leave, the happier I am. The more the team wants to do more for you. We are here because of you, and so we appreciate that interactivity. The Locker Gnome newsletter, if you haven't subscribed to it, again, we're giving away a Sony Bio at some point, as well as a Sony Digital. I whip my cord back and forth, I whip my cord back and forth, I whip my cord back and forth, I whip my cord. My email address is chris@Pirillo.com. Feel free to drop me a line if you want. You know where to find me everywhere. You can't avoid me online, really. Thanks for clicking the annotations as you see them. Thanks for letting other people know where they can get the information. Share it. Share the information that we're sharing with you, man. It's easy to do. Doesn't cost anything. That's right. Saving you money. Is that all I have to say? Yes. And I will see you tomorrow at the same time, in the same channel. You know where to find us, talking tech and geeking out. Of course, we're doing that live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with a chat room, IRC, in conjunction with a live feed that's running all the time. Hence the 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at live.Pirillo.com. We'll see you later.